In a world where fame often burns brighter than sincerity and headlines outshine hearts, Tan Songyun stands quietly at the edge of the noise, her calmness rippling through the chaos like sunlight through mist, touching those who pause long enough to see her for who she truly is. The internet trembles with whispers of her and Sukai, the storm of curiosity rising and falling like the tide, yet in the center of that storm, she remains still, smiling softly, speaking little, radiating a gentleness that feels almost unreal in an industry addicted to spectacle. Cameras flash, words fly, but she stands as if surrounded by an invisible light, unbothered, steady, and impossibly graceful. Her composure is not detachment. It is power hidden in silence. It is the art of living truthfully without needing to prove anything. When asked about the rumors, she simply looks into the camera with eyes that carry stories deeper than any script, eyes that say she has learned that peace is the only real victory. That look, that serenity, is what fans call the Tan Songyun warmth, a feeling that cannot be faked or manufactured, a momentary sense that the world, for just a second, is kind again. Sukai, always standing a step behind in the narrative, carries his own quiet aura, the type of presence that says more in glances than words. Together, they form a balance, like dusk meeting dawn, like a secret shared between the stars and the sea. Their connection is not loud, not performative. It exists in the pauses, in the respectful distance, in the small kindness of shared smiles that light up 1,000 fan edits online. And fans notice everything, the way his gaze softens when she speaks, the way she laughs a fraction longer when he's nearby, the comfortable silence that seems to envelop them like a forgotten melody rediscovered. Yet she never plays into it, never amplifies the noise. Instead, she moves through each day with purpose, her grace serving as both shield and statement. She teaches, without saying it, that fame need not devour the soul, that gentleness can coexist with strength, and that true allure lies in restraint. In a digital age where attention is currency, Tan Songyun spends hers on kindness. She greets every staff member by name, listens before she speaks, and treats each project not as a career step but as a piece of her life story. Every scene she films carries traces of who she is, not the star, but the woman beneath the spotlight who believes that emotion, when real, needs no exaggeration. That authenticity resonates with millions who find in her a reminder of something they've lost: sincerity. The comment sections glow with affection, fans writing that her smile feels like spring after winter, that her calmness brings peace in a world addicted to chaos. They draw her face in art, edit her laughter into short clips that trend across platforms, write essays about her quiet strength. And through it all, Tan Songyun never chases the noise. She walks through it like a breeze through petals, felt but never forced. When Sukai appears beside her, it feels less like a coincidence and more like harmony, two energies that complement rather than compete. Their rumored connection becomes a kind of modern myth, not about scandal or exposure, but about subtlety, trust, and unspoken understanding. The fans feel it, the cameras capture it, and yet it remains undefined. That's what makes it beautiful. In an age obsessed with declarations, their silence speaks louder. Behind the scenes, those who have worked with them whisper that their friendship feels like poetry, gentle, respectful, filled with mutual admiration. Sukai once said in an interview, "Some people make you calm just by being there," and though he never named anyone, fans knew. That sentence drifted across social media like a confession carried by wind. But Tan Songyun, ever composed, responded not with words, but with the smallest of smiles during her next appearance, a smile that fans replayed frame by frame, searching for meaning in the curve of her lips. And perhaps that's her secret: she doesn't deny magic, she lets it exist. She allows people to feel what they wish, never correcting, never confirming, because she understands that mystery, when laced with sincerity, becomes timeless. She is the kind of star who transcends stardom. When others race for trends, she cultivates depth. Her calmness is not a lack of emotion, but the mastery of it, like an ocean that knows how to carry storms without drowning. Sukai's energy beside her feels like wind meeting water, invisible, yet undeniably there. Together, They remind the public that gentleness can be powerful and that true chemistry often hides in silence, not spectacle. This, perhaps, is why her presence comforts people. She doesn't ignite chaos, she restores balance. The media, hungry for headlines, tries to label what they see romance, friendship, mystery, but the truth is softer, harder to define. It lives in the subtle space between glances, in the laughter that lingers half a second too long. Theirs is a story written not in gossip columns, but in the collective imagination of millions who crave something real. The beauty of Tan Songyun is not just in her face, though that too seems carved from serenity, but in her soul's discipline, her refusal to let the external world dictate her internal peace. When rumors swirl, she remains still. When fans speculate, she remains kind. When asked if she feels pressure to respond, she smiles and says, "I just focus on what makes me happy." That simplicity disarms cynicism. It reminds people that fame does not have to consume authenticity. And for her fans, people weary of artificial perfection, that honesty becomes hope. It's no wonder that social media glows with praise. Her calmness feels like therapy, one comment reads. "She makes me believe gentle people can still survive in this world," says another. Sukai's name appears beside hers again and again, not as a source of scandal, but as a symbol of admiration, the way two energies can coexist with grace, not competition. They've redefined what it means to be seen together in public, no grand gestures, no forced intimacy, just the quiet rhythm of mutual respect. And that quietness itself becomes a storm online, because in a time when everything is loud, silence becomes revolutionary. The fans, inspired by their aura, create art, stories, and tributes that celebrate love as patience and gentleness as power. They call it the Songyun effect, a soft rebellion against superficiality. Every time she appears in a new project, audiences look for more than acting. They look for emotion. They watch her expressions not as performance, but as reflection. She makes them feel understood. She teaches them that being tender is not weakness, it's courage. In her interviews, she rarely talks about herself, yet somehow reveals everything. In one moment she said, "I think peace is a kind of beauty, and fans never forgot." That line became a quote printed on posters, a whisper repeated in fan cafes. And when she appears alongside Sukai, the internet remembers it all over again. Because together, they embody that peace, he with his quiet gaze, she with her serene smile, two souls meeting softly, leaving behind a trail of calm admiration. Their dynamic reminds people that love stories do not always need declarations, sometimes they just need presence. And perhaps that is why their story, real or imagined, continues to resonate. It is not about confirmation, it's about belief. It's about reminding people that the most meaningful connections are often unspoken. Tan Songyun is not chasing fame, she's cultivating legacy. Her charm is not a performance, it's a philosophy. Through her choices, she shows that to be gentle in a world of noise is the bravest act of all. She has turned the art of restraint into a symphony that fans can feel but never fully explain. And in that mystery lies her immortality. The world will forget scandals, but it will remember sincerity. The world will move past rumors, but it will replay that quiet smile. In her calmness lies revolution. In her silence, an echo of truth. And for Sukai, the one often caught in her orbit, his name becomes part of a narrative not of chaos, but of calm, not of scandal, but of symphony. Together, even if their story remains unwritten, they've already told the world something invaluable, that beauty lies not in exposure, but in essence. And so, as fans continue to watch, to hope, to imagine, Tan Songyun continues to live her truth, a woman whose gentleness has become the loudest kind of strength. And perhaps that is the lesson we all need today, that kindness, when consistent, becomes destiny. Thank you for joining us in this journey through the quiet brilliance of Tan Songyun and the subtle grace of Sukai. If this story moved you, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, 24H News, TM, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your support keeps our voice alive. Your words keep this warmth flowing. And together we continue to celebrate the beauty of sincerity in a world that too often forgets how to be still.